Hello and welcome to another lesson brought to you by Learn Drums Live. Today's lesson, we're going to look at ways in which we can build up our independence with our left foot on the hi-hat. This lesson came about as a result of a conversation I had with a drummer friend of mine who was telling me that one of his old teachers, who was Alan Dawson, who's a well-known educator back up in New England, had an exercise where he would have my friend play the jazz ride pattern on his left foot while playing a quarter note triplet on his right hand, and then play rhythmic figures between his left hand and his right foot. So I thought, wow, that sounds pretty challenging. So what I thought would be a good idea is to do a lesson where I don't know how to do this yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on it and break it down the way that I would, do it, break down different limbs at a time, and then kind of go over that. I know with a lot of my students, when we work on independence exercises, they'll try to do the whole thing at once. And one of the things that I stress is it's like putting a puzzle together. You put one piece at a time. So I thought it would be interesting to do it in this way, where again I would just, the way that I work it out, and kind of go through that with you and see if it helps you in getting to the final product, which again is playing the jazz ride with the left foot, quarter note triplets with the right hand, and figures between the right foot and the left hand. So there's going to be some mistakes, and it may take a minute, and we'll be kind of cutting in and out of video. But I think you'll find it interesting and hopefully challenging. So let's get started with the first part of whatever we decide to do to get to the end. Okay, so the first thing that I would do if I was working on this exercise, which I guess I am, is I would play the left foot pattern the way it's supposed to be played, all by itself. So just the left foot. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And one of the things that I would really recommend doing, you may not like the way it sounds, especially if I'm doing it. You probably won't like the way it sounds. But one of the things that I learned when working this kind of stuff out, I had the chance to study with Chris Adams. Chris Adams was one of Gary Chester's students, and actually she helped write The New Breed 2, which of course was the second book in this series, the New Breed series, that was really groundbreaking. One of the things that Gary Chester used to have his students do was not only do all this independent stuff, but sing the quarter note and then sing the part of the limb, of each limb. So that really made it so that everything kind of had to be on autopilot, and you focused on the limb, one limb at a time. He called the voice the fifth limb, and I do that with my students, and they hate it. But most of them, at least. Okay, so back to what I was just doing. So I would do this and then sing the quarter note, or do whatever you want just to, get that pulse. So I'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 da, and then sing, da 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 da, or whatever, right? Just so you're singing the rhythm that's being played on this limb. Okay, so once I feel like I know what that pattern is, I'm going to add the right hand next. And remember, that's a quarter note triplet. So against the jazz pattern on the left foot, it would be okay. Then I sing the quarter note against that, like this. Da 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 da. Oops. Okay, and then I would screw that up. So you sing the quarter note pattern. Next thing is try to sing the right hand pattern. Okay, so let's see if I can do that. Hold on. Da 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 da. Ding 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 ding. Screwed it up. Ding 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 ding. Okay, so that's the quarter note triplet part. I'm singing, if you want to call it singing, that against the left foot. Now let me try to sing the left foot while I'm doing the right hand. Let's see. Ta 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 okay, so that was singing the left foot pattern against the quarter note ride. Okay, so now we feel pretty comfortable with the two limbs going, the left foot and the right foot. It's not that musical yet, it's not really flowing yet, but we got to get the mechanics first. And we're also able to sing, you know, the quarter note and the parts. And that's, like I said, that's really a third limb in this case. The voice is one limb, this is another limb, this is another limb, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is start adding another limb. So let's add the right foot, and what we'll do is we'll play quarter notes, and then we will play the upbeats, and then maybe we'll play both. And by the way, if I didn't make this clear, I may not have. The end goal is to be able to actually use our buddy syncopation, Ted Reed's syncopation, and read the figures between our right foot and our left hand while this other stuff is going on. Okay, so let's take a break, and then we will start working on adding the right foot into the mix. Okay, so now we're going to add our right foot in. And I'm just going to go through this and see what I can do and what I can't do. It's just going to, so you're going to see me basically fall apart. Well, we'll see to what level I fall apart, but let's try it. So the kick drum is, at this point, is just going to play quarter notes. Okay, so I'm going to try to do it without singing anything first and then try to sing the individual limbs. All right, so let's see. So let me get my feet going first. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Ting, 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 ting. Okay. So it's you got to really focus on it. That was the ride cymbal, right? So let me try it again. Ting, 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 boom, kick. So, sorry, I'm singing the kick, which is the same as the quarter note, right? Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so that was singing the quarter note, the kick drum. And then, of course, I was singing the right hand earlier. Now let me try the hi-hat. Okay. Okay, so that was the left foot. So again, you know, this is the way that I try to figure this stuff out, is one piece at a time. And I'm known to have my mind wander, so it's really easy for me to kind of lose where I'm at. Case in point. So the next thing we'll do is we'll do eighth notes on the kick drum, but playing the upbeats. All right, so let's take a break and take a look at that. Okay, now we're going to play with the kick drum on the upbeats, upbeat eighths, and I'll sing all the different parts, hopefully. Okay, start with the kick. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's the kick. Hi-hat. Check, 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 check. That's the hi-hat. Ding, 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 ding. A ride cymbal. Now let me try the quarter notes. Da, 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 da. da, da, da. All right. So sorry you had to put up with my singing. It's just really rough for me to do that simultaneously, or not simultaneously, but you know, all in a row without stopping. So that was adding the kick drum, but playing the upbeat. So the ands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and while playing the jazz ride on the left foot, quarter note ride, quarter note triplet ride on the right hand, and then also singing the quarter notes. So take this slow. So far with adding the right foot, we've played the downbeats and the upbeats. So the next thing we're going to do is play the downbeats and the upbeats. So the kick will be da 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 da. Okay, so let's take a break and then we'll work on that. Okay, that was singing the hi-hat, the right foot, and then the right hand, okay? And again, this is just scratching the surface. I mean, I'm just going through the mechanics of it. I have a lot of work to do for it to be totally comfortable. But this is about kind of showing you how I approach it. We're singing the parts, adding one part at a time, playing all the potential variations that we'll find when we play the syncopation, you know, the notes and syncopation against this, right? So that was the combination of the kick drum. Downbeats, upbeats, then swing eights. So da 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 da. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our left hand. We'll do the same thing. We'll play quarter notes, upbeats, and then swing eights. Then finally, well, not finally, then we'll do combinations between our left foot and our right foot, our left hand and our right foot. And then when we're comfortable with that, or somewhat comfortable, we'll start adding, or we'll start reading the notes in syncopation. All right, so let's add the left hand. Okay, so now we're going to add the left hand. Take the right foot out of the equation, which I'm thankful for, because that's really difficult for me with the hi-hat pattern, with that right foot played against that left foot ostinato of that traditional jazz ride pattern played on the left foot. So what I would do is go back to these two limbs, this limb and this limb, or this and this, and then begin to add the quarter note on the left hand. So let's see, it'll be like this. More difficult than I thought. Okay, so again, it'd be, let's see. So what tripped me up was when I started to try to sing the dotted quarter note, or the quarter note triplet on the ride cymbal. And so it's funny, when you do this, you'll notice that certain things can just throw you off. And for example, I was pretty comfortable or somewhat with the other parts singing, but with that quarter note ride against a quarter note on the snare drum and singing the right hand part, it was really, I had to really think about it. Okay, so next we'll play the upbeats with the left hand against the left foot and the right hand. Okay, so now we're going to add or play the upbeats with the left hand, and I'm going to start this out, and the first thing I'm going to sing, hopefully, is the right hand pattern, because that seems to be giving me the most trouble, so I want to get it out of the way. Let's see, so... was the right hand, and then I messed up. So let's try it again. Snare. Stop, 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 stop. Check, check, check. Oh, okay, now I'm going to sing the left foot, but that gave me a little bit of a problem too. So check, 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 quarter note. Sing, sing. That's giving me a problem. So let me take the left hand away, go back to singing that, see if I can add the left hand while I'm doing it. Let's see. Chop, 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 check, 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 check. Oh, okay, let's see. Let's see. Check, 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 check. So what I did was I went back and forth because I started getting this, but I was like, all right, let me see if I can go to the right hand and then go back to the left foot. And again, like I said in the last little clip, this is just scratching the surfaces. I'm literally kind of figuring this out, recording it, and showing you guys how I go through this. And for better or worse, probably for worse. But anyway, maybe it'll be helpful, hopefully. Okay, so let's see. We've done the downbeats and the upbeats. So now we're going to start combining the right foot with the left hand. So there's a lot of different things we could do with this, of course. There's a lot of different things. So I think we'll just do a few different combos. We'll do quarter notes. So maybe the 1 and the 3 on the right foot, the 2 and the 4 on the left hand, then maybe switch that. We'll just try a couple different things, and then we'll begin to tackle reading notes and syncopation. And probably what we'll do is we'll play the 8th notes on the snare drum, quarter notes on the right foot, and then switch it where we play the 8th notes on the right foot and quarter notes on the left hand. Okay, but first we got to be comfortable with switching between our right hand and our left foot against this pattern. So let's take a break and then we'll look at that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to play, we're going to start combining our right foot and our left hand against this pattern. And the first thing we'll try is playing 1 and 3 on the kick, 2 and 4 on the snare, and then we'll reverse it, 1 and 3 on the snare, 2 and 4 on the kick. So let's see how that goes. All right, so first we get the ostinato together, which is really these two things, right? That's it. I just sang the kick and the left hand kick and snare. You can sing all the parts if you want. Then the next thing we're going to do, I said, is reverse. So let's see, I got to get brain and head, and let's try that. Okay, so then practice left foot, left hand on the 1 and 3s, kick drum on the 2 and 4. Okay, so try that, and then the next thing we'll do is we'll play swing 8s between the right foot and the left hand, and then we'll move on to the syncopation figures. All right, let's take a quick break. Okay, so now we're going to play swing 8s between the right foot and the left hand. So let's get the ostinato going. That's I was just singing one part there, right? The ride cymbal, quarter note triplet. All right, now we're going to reverse it, and we will do the left hand followed by the right foot. So we'll lead with the left instead of the right. Swing eights, left, right, left, right, left, left hand, right foot. All right, let's do that next. Okay, so that was leading with the left hand. I started to sing quarter notes, and then I started to sing the hi-hat pattern. So once you're able to do all that stuff and do it better than I was doing it and getting it, really solid, kind of rushing through it right now, then you're going to move on to reading the notes and syncopation. That's really where it kind of comes together. And that's where you're going to put the majority of the time into this, right? You have to get to the point, obviously, all the things we did, I think. I mean, you may be able to just jump right to it, but for me, it's a lot easier to break it down piece by piece, all the variables that could potentially happen when you're reading the syncopation. So, all right, let's take a look at that, and we'll see how it goes. All right. Okay, so now we're going to take this concept and apply it to rhythmic phrases and syncopation, Ted Reed syncopation. So we're going to do it with two measure phrases, and we're going to look at the first two measures on page 42, and we're going to read or play the eighth notes written on the snare drum and the quarter notes on the kick drum. So right foot, left hand against this ostinato. And this first pass, I'm going to try to sing the hi-hat pattern while doing this. All right, so here we go. Tick, 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 Okay, so that was that. Two measure phrase, looping, singing in the left foot part on the hi-hat. So now let's try to do it singing, we'll do the right hand, which is playing the quarter note triplets. All right. Ting, 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 Okay, so that was singing the right hand part while playing the pattern using syncopation for a guide for the right foot and left hand. So now we're going to do the next two measures, but instead of playing the quarter notes on the kick, we'll play the quarter notes on the snare and the eighths on the kick. All right, let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so that was playing the eighth notes with the right foot, the quarter notes with the left hand, of course playing the traditional jazz pattern on the left foot, quarter note triplets on the right hand, and singing the quarter note. So that's going to do it for this lesson. I hope that you enjoyed watching me go through this, struggle with it. It was not easy, and I'd like to say that after we did those first things, those first couple of warm-ups to get to this point, that I was able to jump right into this, but I probably had to spend an hour or so after just doing those warm-ups to get where this was comfortable. And it's still not nearly where it needs to be. You know, I can sort of do it mechanically, but I still have to work on the feel, the dynamics, and all that. But I just really wanted to show you how I would go about beginning to work on this particular exercise. So I want to thank you for checking this out, and also thank my friend Scott for giving me this idea in the first place. All right, until next time, take care.